Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu Me Bho Rama Mamuddhara Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmaha Te Mayi Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We were seeing the third section of Kenopanishad, where Bhagavan, having identified the Abhimana, pride in the hearts of Devatas, decides to take avatar. Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, there are different ways in which Bhagavan does anugraha upon a seeker. Sometimes it is bringing them out of difficult situation, showing the right path, giving the right guidance. One form of anugraha of the Lord is when our abhimana gets shattered. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi Ji says, we cannot have abhimana without misunderstood aham. Only when I identify myself with this body and mind, then I have abhimana about either body or mind or the world outside. Whatever I have abhimana of the world outside is called as mama. If someone has a lot of land, let us say, and this person has abhimana of his land, so that abhimana is called as mamatva. Whatever is outside this body, that is called as mamatva. I mean, this is mine. Although it is outside, the thought is, I am this outside external thing. Things can keep changing, but abhimana is the same. If it is something of body and mind, that is called as misunderstood aham. Aham, we should always be careful. Aham is used for Atma also. Aham is used for Ahankara also. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya Ji says, entire Bhagavad Gita I am writing commentary to remove this misunderstanding in Arjuna's mind. Aham esham mama ete. Aham esham means I am this finite person. Mama ete. So in mama we should not only say Arjuna had a problem of Dronacharya and Bhishma and so on. Mama includes everything. The moment we misunderstand aham, mama is waiting there right away. So whenever Abhimana is there, it is taken for granted that we are in ignorance. Abhimana about anything sprouts only on the fertile ground of avidya. And if Bhagwan loves his devotees, he wants to make sure that devotee doesn't remain ignorant. To remove that obstacle of Abhimana, Bhagwan is doing this whole Leela. Another way to look at it is from a devotional standpoint. Smriti of Bhagwan and Abhimana cannot go together. Bhagavad Smriti means Abhimana Vismriti. If someone says, my mind is turned towards the Lord, this turning of mind towards the Lord and pride about something in the world, either about our own abilities or something that we have outside, both of these things cannot go together. To remove this Abhimana, Bhagwan says, I will take avatar, such that only one of it remains, Bhagavad Smriti remains, and Abhimana is shattered. We had seen Agni Devata going for his test. All other Devatas say, Agni Devata, you go and find out who this Yaksha is. And he is unable to even speak in front of Yaksha. Pragalbhatvat means Bhagwan's aura is such, nothing works in front of him. So before he can ask anything, Yaksha asks him, who are you? And then he is unable to burn even that blade of grass, and he returns back. Now it is the turn of Vayu Devata. Let us see what Bhagwan elaborates in the Bhashya of these mantras. Athavayum abruvan Vayave tadvijanihi Kim etat yakshamiti Tatheti Tat abhyadravat Tam abhyavadat Ko siti Vayurva ahamasmi iti Abravit Maatrishwa va ahamasmi iti. These mantras are simple now, right? What is being said, although it is Chandasa Prayoga. Vayu, they went to Vayu Bhagwan and said, Vayavetad Vijanihi. Go and find out who this Yaksha is. Imetat Yakshamiti. Go and find out who this Yaksha is. Tatheti. He says, so be it, I will go. Tad abhyadravat. He went running. Tam abhyavadat. To this Vayu Devata who went running, Yaksha asked, who are you? Vayurva ahamasmiti. I am the very famous Vayu. Iti abravit. He said this. Maatrishwa va ahamasmiti. This is my second name called as Maatrishwa. What these two words mean? Bhagwan elaborate in Bhashya. Tasmin tvai kim viryam iti apidam sarvam adadiya yadidam pruthivyam iti tasmai trunam nidadhau etat adat sveti tad upapreyaya sarvajavena tanna shashaka datum sa tata eva nivavrute naita dashakam vijnatum yat etat yakshamiti. Same dialogues. Tasmin tvai kim viryam. Bhagavan is asking Yaksha, what is your viryam? What is your strength? Apidam sarvam adadiya yadidam pruthivyamiti. Whatever grows on this earth, I can blow away everything. I can eat up everything. That is my power. Tasmai trunam nidadhav. Same blade of grass with a dewdrop. Etat adatsva. Try to blow this away. Tat upapreyaya sarvajavena. He tries with all his strength. Tanna shashaka adatum sa tata eva nivavrute. But is not able to move it even a little bit. And Vayu Devata also quietly comes back. Na etad ashakam vijnatum yat etad yakshamiti. I was not able to get any more details of this yaksha. Vayu Devata says, how much ever you know, Indra Bhagavan, Agni Devata, only that much I also know. What was the topic we had seen in the last session on this verse? What does this last line indicate? You can type it also in the chat. Agni Devata also went and said, I saw Yaksha, but I don't know anything more about him. Vayu Devata also comes and says, I saw Yaksha, but I also don't know anything more about him. What does that indicate? Good. You cannot know what through your senses? You cannot know Ishvara through your senses. Good. Good. Abhimana is blocking. Good. Many of you typed in the chat also. We need Shabda Pramana to know Vishesha Jnana. Pratyaksha Pramana only gives Samanya Jnana. Even if you don't take Brahma, take an ordinary person also. If we meet that person, shake hands with that person, Pratyaksha Pramana Vyapara happened. But unless Shabda Pramana comes and tells us who that person is, we will have no idea of Vishesha Jnanam of that person. If this is true for ordinary person, what to talk about Brahma Vidya? Meaning the point is, Brahman we are already experiencing. Even in Jagrat Avastha, the substratum is Brahman only. If you want exclusive experience, Bhagavan says in deep sleep, Aharahar Brahma Gamayati. Every day we are going to that same Sat in deep sleep. But what is the greatness of that Sat? What is the Mahima of that Sat? Am I this person going into Sat? Or I am that substratum in which not only this Jiva, but all Jivas come into me. This clarity will come through Shabda Pramana. And this again will be highlighted later in this Akhyayika. So every line is important. Why they are saying these dialogues? There is some reason behind each of these lines. Now Bhashya on this mantra. Can I read directly? Some mantras will repeat, some will do direct reading. Atha anantaram vayum abruvan he vayo etad vijanihi. After Agni Devata returned back, Devatas went to Vayu Devata and said, now you go and try to find out who is this Yaksha. Ityadi samanartham purvena. Whatever is repetition, Bhagavan Shankaracharya Ji says, understand it from the previous mantra. I will not repeat it. Whatever was there before, same thing it is here also, the dialogues. Now Vayu, he gives etymology. Why is Devata called as Vayu? He says, Vanat, Gamanat, Gandhanat va Vayu. Vanat means because it blows. Gamanat means because it goes. And Gandhanat because it has fragrance. See, very good Sanskrit words. They are getting easier. Vanat means it blows. Gamanat means it goes. Gandhanat means there is fragrance. Because of that, it gets the name Vayu. Now we walk around in our homes. We walk around probably in a bigger park. Vayu walks in Antariksha. Matari Antarikshe Shvayati. iti Maatrishwa. The one who moves about in space, in this entire Brahmanda, that is this Vayu. Means Bhagavan is reminding us, he is not an ordinary person. Whatever he is saying is true. But the Abhimana is what Bhagavan is trying to break. Idam sarvam api adadiya grunhiyam yadidam pruthivyam ityadi samanam eva. He says, whatever is there on this earth, I can take and blow away everything. This is my power. One thing to note here is the role of Abhimana. What does Abhimana do? It is that even if there is a person who is so bright and brilliant, if Abhimana comes there, that Abhimana reduces his brilliance. Ravana was not an ordinary person. It is said Ravana was born in an ashram. He was born in the lineage of Pulastya Rishi. If he ends up lifting Kailasa mountain, it is not that he was born with a silver spoon and somebody gave him all these powers. Right from day one, did lot of tapasya, lot of penance, gained all these powers. But that power with Abhimana, Bhagavan says, right now let him have some Abhimana. Because when he lifted Kailash mountain, Lord Shiva was sitting there. Parvati ji got very annoyed. He says, you are a student having this kind of pride that I can lift Kailasa mountain along with my guru. You can put your toe down. Bhagavan says, not right now. Bhagavan Vishnu will take avatar and he will break his pride. So lot of teja, even if it is there, Abhimana will reduce that teja. On the other hand, if a person can be surrendered in front of teja, that person's teja will increase. One Mahatma Ji would give this example. If your guru is walking and you go behind your guru, surrender to the teja of the guru, teja of disciple increases. That surrender doesn't bring his teja down. But if he decides to go in front and have Abhimana, even if he is tejasvi, that teja decreases with Abhimana. That is the point here, that these devatas are very accomplished people. Lot of teja, but Bhagavan is saying that teja reduces with Abhimana. Yadidam pruthivyam ityadi samanam eva. Whatever other things are there, it is same as the previous mantra. Now this whole prasanga, Gurudev would call it as, means whatever is presented in our Puranas, right? He would call it as poetic philosophy. What you study in Upanishad as philosophy, it will be presented in a poetic form in our Puranas. Now the main essence of this whole prasanga is, if Bhagavan wants to do something, he can undo things and he can make things also. He can make blade of grass into thunderbolt. Trunamapi vajri kartum shaknoti. He can make somebody who is like a thunderbolt into a blade of grass. Like these devatas. Now this same philosophy, this same idea will be presented in different story forms. There are 3 stories which have a similar theme. And whenever we reach there, we wonder, what is the deeper import? I'll give you one, try to see if you can guess the other 2 stories. Same theme, huh? First one is Angaji putting his foot down in the court of Ravana. No Rakshasas can come and shake his foot. Just that much. Theme is what? Ishvara Ichchaya Trunamapi Vajri Kartum Shaknoti. Angaji did not put his foot down and stand there on his own strength. He said, this is my Bhagwan strength. And his prayer to Bhagwan was, if you want my words to be true, make sure that you accomplish it. Now later on, Angadji also goes to fight with Ravana. That time Bhagwan scolds him. When he sees Ravana standing on his palace, Angadji jumps and bashes him a little bit, but gets beaten up and he comes back. And Bhagwan says, this time you went with your Abhimana, not with your Sharanagati. First time was with Sharanagati. Outer expression was the same. He challenged Ravana only. But inside, one had Abhimana, another had surrender. So nobody is able to move his foot in that Prasanga. Can you guess the other two? Hanumanji's tale for Bhima. Abhimana of Bhima, that I am so powerful. He says, try to move this tail. Same theme it is. Ishwarechaya trunamapi vajrikartum shaknoti. Okay, some of you are typing also. Good. Very good. One of you guessed this story. Okay, third one. Huh? Mahabali, okay. Same theme it has to be, where things cannot be moved from a place. Third one is Dhanush Bhanga in Ramayana. That bow of Bhagwan Shiva could not be moved an inch. The main prasanga is to break the pride of all the kings. Whoever thought I am so powerful, Ravana also had come. Right? That was one of the seeds for him, to have animosity towards Bhagwan. So there are two ways in which it is presented. One is in Kenopanishad. Ishwarechayatu trunamapi vajri bhavati. If Lord wants, even blade of grass can become a thunderbolt. Goswamiji in Ramcharitmanas, he puts it other way also. Trunate kulisa. Blade of grass can become thunderbolt. Kulisa truna karei. Thunderbolt can also become blade of grass. One who is very powerful, but having Abhimana, Bhagwan can remove all of that power and make that person into a blade of grass. Tasu duta pana kahutimi tarai. I am the messenger of that Lord who has this ability. This is how Angadji introduces himself to Ravana. I think it's helpful to keep reflecting on what we are studying in Bhashya and how this same thing expresses in Puranas, but most importantly, how does it connect with our life? Now comes Indra Bhagavan. He is time to go out and meet Yaksha. Atha Indram Abruvan Bhagavan etat vijanihi kimetat yakshamiti tatheti tad abhyadravat tasmat tirodadhe sa tasmin eva akashe S3M3 ajagama Bahu Shobhamanam Umam Haimavatim Tam hovacha kimetat yakshamiti. Atha Indram Abruvan. All the devatas, they told Indra Bhagavan, Hey Bhagavan, etat vijanihi. O most powerful amongst all, please go and find out who this Yaksha is. Tatheti, he said, so be it, I will go. Tad abhyadravat, he also went, but tasmat tirodade. When he went in that way, Yaksha disappeared. Sa tasmin eva akashe S3M ajagama. He stood in that same place and he started contemplating. And in that same spot where that Yaksha had disappeared, Brahma Vidya in the form of Uma Devi, she appeared. Bahu Shobhamanam Umam Haimavatim. Now Bhagavan Shankaracharya Ji will elaborate each word. Why is it said Shobhamanam? Who is Haimavati? That is what we have to pay attention in the Bhashya. Otherwise, the literal meaning of these verses are very easy. But he is giving deeper meaning of every word. Tam ho vacha kimetat yakshamiti. Now Indra Bhagavan goes and asks Uma Devi, who was this Yaksha? Ata Indram Abruvan Magavan Etat Vijanihi. This is the Upanishad mantra. Now you are familiar with it. Which one is mantra, which one is bhashya? Whatever is in this font is mantra. Whatever comes after is bhashya. When we study Ishavasya Upanishad, it would be helpful if you can mark in your book. You'll be doing it on Tuesdays and Thursdays with bhashya only. But if you mark the words from mantras in the bhashya, then we know where we are in the bhashya. Which part of the mantra is Bhagavan elaborating. I'll give more details later when we do Tuesday, Thursday mornings. But it's helpful to note these points. Ityadi Purovat. The remaining part, he says, is whatever was explained before. He went there and he was asked and so on. Now, who is Indra? Indraha Parameshwaraha Maghava. Maghavan, that is the word used for Indra. It is used because he is very powerful. Balavatvat Maghavan. He says Tatheti, Tat Abhyadravat. So be it, and he quickly goes. These two are also part of mantra. It should be in the different font. I'll correct it later. Tasmat Indrat Atma Samipam Gatat Tad Brahma Tirodhade Tirobhutam. That Indra who went closer to Yaksha. This is an adjective for Indra. Atma Samipam Gatat Indrat. From that Indra who went closer to Yaksha, Tad Brahma Tirodhade. That Brahma disappeared, Yaksha disappeared. Why did he disappear? Indrasya Indratva Abhimana Atitaram Nirakartavya. Compared to other devatas, Indra Bhagavan's pride was even more. That I am the king of all devatas, the most powerful amongst all of them. Noticing this pride, Yaksha said, I will not even talk to him. So he disappeared from that place. Ityataha samvada matram api na adat Brahma Indraya. Noticing this, Yaksha did not even give an audience, did not even give opportunity to ask anything to Indra Bhagavan. You know what this icon represents? Disappearance of Yaksha. Here there is Yaksha, next to it, disappearance of Yaksha. Tad yaksham yasmin akashe akasha pradeshe atmanam darshayitva tirobhutam indrascha brahmana tirodhana kale yasmin akashe asit. Wherever that Yaksha appeared, wherever that Yaksha had appeared, Akasha Pradeshe Atmanam Darshetva Tirobhutam Indrascha. He had shown himself to Indra and disappeared in that place. Saha Indraha Tasmin Eva Akashe Tatsthav. That Indra Bhagavan stood in that same place and kept gazing at that place where Yaksha had disappeared. Now in Puranas it will be said, he stood there for 1,000 years. Whenever you see tapasya, elaboration you will find in Puranas. Parvati ji went to forest to do tapasya. 1,000 years she lived just on roots and fruits. Another 1,000 years on air. Then she left everything, not even leaf, and got the name Aparna. Like this elaboration will be there in Puranas, but here it's not elaborating anything. Indra Bhagavan goes, sees Yaksha, disappears, and then he stands there. Now these are all qualities of good leader, good leadership, which is there in Indra Bhagavan. That is why he gets this knowledge also. The first thing is, he doesn't return back like Vayu Devata and Agni Devata. Because Vayu Devata and Agni Devata, it is not their main project. They were told to go and do it. Right? If I didn't find out who is Yaksha, somebody else will find out. I'll come back. But Indra Bhagavan is leader. Leader cannot afford to think only about themselves. So if Yaksha has come in our Swarga Loka and we don't find who that Yaksha is, he says that's not going to be good for all Devatas. So I will stand there and continue to inquire until I get a solution. He says Jijnasa is safala. Inquiry is fruitful only if it can lead us to the final solution. Otherwise, we start inquiring about several things. But that inquiry fizzles out somewhere in between. This commitment of Indra Bhagavan to know this knowledge. That is this Jijnasa of Indra Bhagavan. And if he is a king, he has to be decisive. Means he cannot always express timidness. He cannot always express lack of confidence in his speech. But that decisiveness should not become an ego issue, prestige issue. So Indra Bhagavan is generally not used to people asking him who you are. But here, even though Yaksha did not give an audience, nothing was according to his status as a king, he says, I will still wait. I'll still wait and inquire. That is his another quality. We chant one Shanti mantra where the student is praying to the Lord. Anena dhitena aho ratran sandadhami. Means to study this Brahma Vidya, I will work hard day and night. Means whatever effort is needed, that I will put in and make sure that I get this knowledge. That is this quality of Indra Bhagavan, is no matter what happens in between. His commitment towards study, his commitment towards knowing the truth, that is not going to go anywhere. And Bhagavan clarifies that, na nivavrute agnyadivat. He did not return back like Agni Devata and Vayu Devata. Now when this happens, whenever there is a seeker who is seeking something with a pure heart and putting forth effort to go in that direction, on that seeker, Bhagwan's grace showers in plenty. So we saw Guru Upasati of Indra Bhagavan. Now it is the blessing of Uma Devi in the form of Brahma Vidya. This let us repeat. Tasya Indrasya Yakshe Bhaktim Buddhva Vidya Umarupini Pradurabhut Stri Rupa Saha Indraha Tam Umam Bahu Shobhamanam Sarvesham Hi Shobhamananam Shobhanatama Vidya Tada Bahu Shobhamaneti Visheshanam Upapannam Bhavati Haimavatim Haimakruta Abharanavatim Iva Bahushobhamanam Ityarthaha Athava Uma Eva Himavato Duhita Haimavati Haimavati Tasya Indrasya Yakshe Bhaktim Buddhva. Means how does Bhagavan send guidance? He saw the devotion in the heart of Indra. He saw the devotion in the heart of Indra Bhagavan towards that Yaksha and his commitment in knowing the Yaksha. Because this was there, this is a law of the universe. If somebody is seeking guidance in something sincerely, guidance will come to that person wherever that person is. We say there are different laws, right? Law of gravity. Those are there. In addition to those laws, these laws are also there. That whenever we seek something intensely, sincerely, to that person, guidance comes. Vibhishanji sought Bhagavan in Lanka. Bhagavan sent Hanumanji all the way to Lanka. Dhruva sets out of his home without knowing what to do. Naraji comes and guides him. Parvati ji, there are so many instances of sadhakas who set out. Parikshit ji Maharaj goes. Shukdev ji Maharaj comes walking. All of that is the same bhava. Looking at the devotion of that devotee towards the goal, Bhagavan sends the right guidance in their life. Uma Rupinim Pradurbhuta Sri Rupa. Vidya took the form, knowledge took the form of Uma Devi and appeared in front of Indra Bhagavan. Saha Indraha Tam Umam Bahu Shobhamanam. Adjective of Uma Devi is Bahu Shobhamanam. One who was very beautiful. Now Bhagavan says, what is this beauty of Brahma Vidya? Sarvesham hi Shobhamananam Shobhanatama Vidya. Bhagavan is using the adjective, or Upanishad is using the adjective Shobhamanam because amongst all the knowledge which is there, Brahma Vidya is the most beautiful one. Like how in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate. Like this Brahma Vidya, there is nothing which is as purifying in this whole creation. Why do we say that? It's not some fanaticism, that there are different types of knowledges. And we are Brahma Vidya Vadis. We will establish that Brahma Vidya is the most important amongst all. It is most beautiful because it helps us to recognize our true beauty. It helps us in recognizing our true beauty by removing these conditionings. By removing Abhimana, by removing Ahankara, and whatever Anatma this Jiva could have gotten identified with. No other Vidya will remove this Ahankara. It will keep Ahankara and add more layers on top of it. Means before I was ignorant about physics, now I know a lot about physics. Ahankara is the same. Probably it has bloated up more. Right? Previously I was knowing little bit. Now I know a lot. That is why they say, if this Abhimana comes in Brahma Vidya, then we have missed the boat. If somebody says, previously I did not know anything about Vedanta. Now I know Prasthanatrayi. I know Bhagavad Gita, I know Upanishads, I know Brahma Sutra with Bhashya. It is the same as knowing I know physics. Knowing different things. The main purpose why this Brahma Vidya is beautiful is it will help us recognize our own true beauty as pure consciousness. Another meaning of this is, amongst all the Vishayas which are there, this creation has so many things. Amongst all those things, the most meaningful thing is this Brahma Vidya. Why is it? Because it will reveal the nature of the substratum of this creation. It is one thing to know what is an ornament, what is a bangle, what is a necklace. But it's another thing to know what is gold. Once gold is known, that knowledge is more powerful than knowing only one ornament. So you can say, compared to the knowledge of all ornaments, knowledge of gold is Shobhanatama. In the same way, compared to the knowledge of all different objects and knowledge about different objects, Brahma Vidya is the most beautiful amongst all. Tada Bahu Shobhamana iti Visheshanam Upapannam Bhavati. Only if you understand in this way, then the adjective of Bahu Shobhamanam, the one who was most beautiful, becomes meaningful. Bhagavan is clarifying. Whenever adjectives are coming, it has a deeper meaning. You have to appreciate it given the context in which it has come. If Vidya took the form of Uma Devi and she is Bahu Shobhamanam, then Bahu Shobhamanam, really speaking, goes with Brahma Vidya. Why is it that way? We saw two reasons. Right? What was the first one? It helps us recognize our own true beauty by removing this ahankara and the conditionings. Means amongst all Vidya, Brahma Vidya is the only one which will remove ahankara. And second meaning is, amongst all Vishayas, different objects which are there, amongst those objects also, Brahma Vidya is the supremost thing. Haimavati. Now he is explaining the word Haimavati. Hemakruta Abharanavatim Iva Bahu Shobhamanam Ityartha. She is wearing ornaments made out of gold. Haima means gold. Haimavati, wearing the ornaments made out of gold. Or another meaning is one whose ornaments are shining like snow. Hima also means snow. So the ornaments are so bright and brilliant, they are shining like snow. Athava Uma eva Himavatah Duhita Haimavati. Third meaning of Haimavati is very simple. Daughter of Himavan is called as Haimavati. Now Indra Bhagavan, this is his Guru Upasatti. He goes to Uma Devi. Nityam eva sarvajnena ishwarena saha vartate iti jnatum samartheti krutva tam upajagama indraha tamha umam kila uvacha papracha bruhi kim etad darshayitva tirobhutam yakshamiti iti tritiya khanda bhashyam. With this we complete the bhashya of Tritiya Khanda. Now Indra Bhagavan, you see his mindset when he goes to Uma Devi. How should a student approach a teacher? With what bhavana should a student go to a teacher? He says, Nityam eva sarvajnena ishwarena saha vartate. This is the consort of Lord Shiva, consort of Ishvara himself, and she is always with him. If I want to know Ishvara, she is very capable of leading me to Ishvara. Nityam eva sarvajnena ishwarena saha vartate iti jnatum samartha iti krutva tam upajagama. Indra Bhagavan went to Uma Devi with this firm conviction that she is very capable of taking me towards my goal. Now these are different stages for a seeker. First stage is to appreciate that I need a goal. Right? A lot of time goes in life. Dinaya minyau sayam pratah shishira vasanto punarayatah. In mechanical living. A lot of time goes in mechanical living. Failing to appreciate that if we have a human body, what is the one single most priority in life? What is the most important thing of having this human birth? Clarity about that takes a long time. That I should abide in my nature as Shuddha Chaitanya. Know that I am not this human being with this physical body. That is the purpose of human birth. To get conviction in this, it takes long time. Bhaja Govindam is elaboration. If somebody has doubt, why should I make Govinda as the goal? Govinda there is Shuddha Chaitanya. Why should I make Chaitanya as the goal? Bhagavan says here are the other sides of things. These things cannot be the absolute goal. Having recognized that, he comes to Vedanta. First step is getting this clarity that I need a goal. Second is knowing what should be my goal. Now, in spite of knowing that we should have a goal, we can still have another worldly goal only. So, person who is able to recognize that nothing of the world can be absolute, that is the second step which comes. Third step, having appreciated the importance of having a goal, having known what should be the goal, third step is single-pointed commitment towards that goal, which in Vedanta we say is Varanam. Varanam means choosing that goal so single-pointedly that nothing else distracts us. The moment we are distracted by something, that is one sign that we are not really seeking our goal wholeheartedly. This is true with even worldly goals. If we are getting bothered by something immediate, one is we might not have any goal. Or second is even if we have, it is not wholehearted seeking yet. Guruji's one statement was, problems are those that we see when we forget the goal. Problems are those that we see when we forget the goal. So third step is Varanam for that goal. And the fourth one is faith in the means that will take us towards that goal. Pramana Buddhi in Shastra. And that Shastra is coming through a teacher. So Pramana Buddhi in teacher also. So all four things are highlighted in Indra Bhagavan's journey. First, their goal was fighting battle with Asuras. They thought that only was their supreme-most goal. And they were rejoicing, celebrating, doing everything. But then Bhagavan's grace came when he saw Bhagavan, darshan of Bhagavan happened. This clarity came that goal cannot be Devatas and Asuras, goal has to be Yaksha only. With that bhavana, he has single-pointed commitment. Previous mantra we saw, he stood there for several years, did tapasya. And now he is going to his teacher. What is the bhavana that he has while he goes to his teacher? That my teacher is very samartha, very capable of making sure that I reach my goal. Now the teaching of Uma Devi, that is the next mantra. Brahmeti ho vacha brahmano va etad vijaye mahi yadhvam iti tato haiva vidan chakara brahmeti. Now to that person, to that disciple who is surrendered, it is a teacher will do upadesha. So this is Indra Bhagavan who is surrendering to Uma Devi, and she is giving this knowledge now. The one whom you saw was none other than Brahma. Brahma iti ho vacha, brahmanah va etad vijaye. This was the same Bhagavan who appeared as that Yaksha. He was not some ordinary boy who was brilliant. That is what the Devatas thought before, right? Some boy is there who is very brilliant, very tejasvi. Now that was only Pratyaksha Pramana. Now Uma Devi is giving Shabda Pramana. That same Yaksha whom you saw was Bhagavan, and in Bhagavan's victory alone, Because of Bhagwan's victory, you all got victory. Because Bhagwan wanted you all to win, it was he who really accomplished the victory for all of you. Tatoha eva vidanchakara brahmeti. That's why she again emphasizes this is same Bhagavan whom you should go and surrender and seek to know him more. Sa brahma iti hovacha hakila brahmana vai ishwarasya eva vijaye ishwarena eva jita asuraha. She says the one who really won over asuras is not devatas. Bhagwan won over asuras. Right then, Indra Bhagavan would have asked a question. Okay, if Bhagwan did everything, what were we doing? Who took the bow? Who took the arrow? Who planned everything? He says, Yuyam tatra nimitta matram. Anybody could have done it. Bhagwan chose you to do it. He says the bow which is there should not have the pride of hitting the target. You see this icon here, bow and arrow. Even in Olympics, for archery, who gets the medal? Not the bow and arrow. The one who was holding the bow and arrow. So for a sadhaka, it's a reminder that our strings are held by the Lord. Who has to be where? Who has to shoot which arrow and hit which target? He decides. Goal of a sadhaka is to become the best instrument. If Bhagwan wants, he will use. If he doesn't want, that's also fine. He doesn't have this incompleteness that I have to become the instrument and Bhagwan has to use me only. He says, Yuyam tatra nimitta matram, tasya eva vijaye. In the victory of the Lord, Yuyam mahiyadhvam, mahimanam prapnutha. In Bhagwan's victory, all of you got recognition. But you started feeling this is your accomplishment, your recognition. Etad iti kriya visheshanartham. This etat word which is there, it is just to explain the kriya. Means whatever happened before, the whole battle thing between devatas and asuras, to explain that, this word etat has come. Now the beauty is, once a devotee recognizes, I belong to my Lord, and I am an instrument of my Lord, of my Bhagwan, whom I love so much. That sadhaka will not have jealousy with any other instrument. The moment I take my instrument to be separate from other instruments, there is a lot of jealousy. This is Ishavasya mantra. Although Ishavasya, it is said from Siddhanta standpoint. Is if you are seeing this whole world in yourself, if you are seeing the whole creation in yourself, all beings in yourself, if you are seeing all beings as your own self, where is the scope for jealousy? That is from Siddhanta standpoint. If you have negated the world, and world is an appearance in consciousness, so what are we getting jealous towards? But this one is from a sadhana standpoint. The true sadhana is where we look at each other as instruments of the Lord. Today he might choose this instrument. Tomorrow he chose some other instrument. Third day he has chosen this instrument. All three are okay. Now this is the final teaching by Uma Devi. She says, Mithya abhimanastu yushmakam asmakam eva ayam vijayah asmakam eva ayam mahimeti tatah tasmat Uma vakyat ha eva vidanchakara Brahmeti Indraha Avadharanat Tato Haiva iti Na Swatantrena Yushmakam Abhimana tu Mithya. All your Abhimana which is there is only a false appearance. It doesn't belong where it really is right now. Mithya means that it appears, but it really is not there in that place. Asmakam eva ayam vijayah, asmakam eva ayam mahimeti. Whatever you are bragging about before, this victory is ours, this glory is ours, he says that is mithya. You know, another meaning of mithya is you cannot bank upon it for too long. It looks very glittery, very nice. But you try to do something, benefit something from it, you will not benefit even a little bit. No matter how deep, how beautiful, how vast mirage water looks, simple thirst cannot be quenched by it. That is nature of mithyatva. You see, here also, this abhimana is like that. Although we might feel good when that abhimana is there, it says really we cannot take any support in this abhimana. Tatah tasmat umavakyat ha eva vidhanchakara brahmeti. Indra Bhagavan also got this knowledge only from the words of Uma Devi, not otherwise. This point Bhagavan again elaborates, avadharanat tato haiva iti. This tato haiva in mantra has come to emphasize this point. Vishesha jnanam. If you want to know, translate Vishesha jnanam, right? There are different English words which always fall short. One translation is specific knowledge. Another is clear knowledge. Clear knowledge, knowledge in depth. He says that is possible only when this sadhaka is instructed. Avadharanat tato havai iti na swatantrena, not independently. Means independently, if knowledge could take place, why do we need bhashya? Why do we need prakarana granthas? Why do we need so much of elaboration? Right? It looks very poetic when somebody says, I do nothing. I just sit in one place and I get knowledge. But for a sadhaka, it's not a healthy mindset. To challenge that, these sentences are there. Na swatantrena. Simple knowledge of a person we cannot get by pratyaksha pramana. How do we expect to know knowledge of Brahma? Clear knowledge of Brahma in all facets without pramana. Okay, so we are done with 3 khandas now. Based upon this third khanda is the next chapter of upasanas. The beauty of Kenopanishad is simplicity. If it is Siddhanta, the simplicity with which concepts were presented. Anya devatat viditat, ato aviditatati. Pratibodha viditam matam. Just trace your thoughts, you will reach consciousness. It is the same simplicity when it comes to upasana. If you look at some other Upanishads, upasanas are very intimidating, very, very elaborate, very deep. Here it's very simple. Nowadays you can do a lot of that upasana. Thunder is in plenty. Looking at thunder, it says meditate upon that Yaksha who appeared and did this whole Leela for Devatas. Thunder you see and it goes back again. Like that, this Yaksha appeared and disappeared. When you see your mind, different thoughts coming and going, meditate upon that Yaksha who enlivens these thoughts. When you see blink of an eye, ophthalmologist when you go, recently I went, before they put that machine, they tell you, blink as much as you want, blink as much as you want. When I say one, don't blink. And that was the time when you were reading this. The thought in your mind is, this is upasana now. You can start doing that. Means in our day-to-day life, whatever things we can do, all those upasanas are presented here. We cannot complain that I don't have time for upasana. That is the beauty. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.